Hi everybody, here is a short overview of the organizational frame bending article and the congruence model that's part of it. So first of all, we have types of organizational change. So that's how the article starts out, and that's the first question that you're asked about the NFL case study. And so the model differentiates between incremental or small changes that just deal with one aspect of the congruence model, and strategic changes are those that impact the entire system. So if you are making a change in anticipation of changes in the environment or your competition, or you're making changes that are reactive. Okay, so somebody else in your competition or in the environment, something's changed, the technology's changed, your competitors have done something different, the customers have new demands. And so based on these two axes, we can come up with 4 different types of organizational change. So incremental changes that are anticipatory, right? So we are trying to make changes before we really need to. Maybe that's a way to look at it. Or incremental small changes that deal with one aspect of the system that are reactive or adaptation, frame bending. Incremental changes in regard to or in reaction to what's going on in the organization. Again, it's just one of the components. Now, on the other hand, strategic changes are those that look at the entire system and consider the entire system. They can be anticipatory, like before we really know we need it, changes that we're calling reorientation, fundamental redirection of the organization without a sharp break, right? We're really good. We've got a good history. We've got some good tools. We can see that things are changing in the environment, and we need to totally change how we do things. And then the final category here is recreation. So something has happened in the environment. There's some kind of threat outside of the organization that requires us to make some major changes. So again, this is a strategic change that's looking at all aspects of the system, all aspects of the organization. So your first question is, what kind of change are we looking at with this case study? So here is a kind of a simplified overview of the congruence model. It's really a systems approach that looks at the inputs. The core components are the transformation process, and then we have some outcomes. So the inputs, an organization deals within or works within the environment that it's operating in, the resources that it has access to, and the history that impacts how things work today. The core components, and in the model, you'll see that these are interactive. The work that's being done, so the actual tasks, the informal structure and processes. So this is the organization culture, how things really get done. You've got the formal structure, which is what you see in the organizational structure map or picture that you might see with the president at the top and who reports there and all the way down. And then finally, you have the people that are part of the organization. So the idea with the congruence model is that these components need to be in alignment or in congruence with the environment, the resources, and the history in order to produce the outcomes that you're looking for at the system level, the unit or group level, and the individual level. So for people, for teams and business units, and for the entire organization. So usually what happens is there's some kind of problem, you're not getting the outcomes that you want, and you have to look back at what's going on within the core components and the inputs that helped us to explain that performance gap. Some principles for effective frame building or for making that change can come with initiating, so at the beginning of the change, right? Diagnosing the situation, creating a vision for the future, and putting your energy in that direction. What are the contents of the change? Not overwhelming people, 3 themes is the idea there, and then also the leader. So not only do you need a leader who is passionate about and create a vision for change, but you need to have many leaders, right? So the leader has to recruit other leaders and help to share the vision. And then finally, in achieving the change, you want to plan but take advantage of opportunities, have many different strategies or approaches, and then be willing to invest in the change to get the returns that you want. So I'm trying to change the slide here. So I have created, or actually adapted, a worksheet that I'm going to post for you that gives you each of the components, and I'm going to ask you to, in the case analysis, so the first question was, what kind of change are we looking at in this situation? The next question asks you to evaluate the current situation according to this model. Okay, so this is a tool to help you evaluate and analyze. Here's the first component is the environment. Questions that you should ask, things to look at. And so this can be a powerful model for any organization to understand, why they're having performance problems, and looks at the organization in a systems perspective, recognizing that all the pieces interact with each other. So I'll post this in the module to hopefully help you analyze and evaluate. And then the last part of the analysis is going to be to say, so what should you do? What should they do at this setting or at this point in the case study, given the analysis that you've done, given the type of change that you see is needed, where do they go from here? So be sure that you are citing the model and other readings from the module or from the class. So let me know if you have any questions.